We're in Huntington Beach, California, at a company called Powertrain Dynamics to look at a tune on my GTM. Steve has set up the GTM. He's fastened it down on the dyno. What we'll be using then is a program HP Tuner's end to see the performance of this little beast. Steve, what do we have?
This is the HP Tuner's tuning device. It allows real-time data scanning and also direct flash to the PCM. It also allows for 0 to 5 volt input, such as a secondary wideband or other devices, so that you can log that data along with the OE PIDs and then print out a histogram or other table-style data to be able to analyze your results.
Steve, then we see it on this Windows-based computer?
No, it'll actually be on a secondary screen. This is the WinPep 7. This is the DynoJet dynamometer software. So this is going to run the dyno, and then we'll use this to capture the air-fuel ratio, horsepower, and torque. If you ever wanted to get this, I think it's, you could buy like a single license application of that HP Tuner's, Joe, and it would allow you to read the file that's in there and make changes. You could edit if you wanted. About $800, I think is what it is. For that.
Yeah, but the difference is it's $800, but I need about a $80,000 education to really make it work.
System ready.
Okay, Steve, what are we looking at?
This is the crank angle before top dead center that the spark occurs at, and the y-axis is basically a calculated load value, and that's originating from the mass airflow sensor. It knows the air mass through the mass airflow sensor and the engine RPM, so it generates a calculated load value, and then the x-axis is engine speed. Typically, an engine of this displacement will typically run in a load value here of about 0.72, so maybe between 0.72 to maybe as low as 0.6. So the ignition timing on this car, wide open throttle, is probably going to be around 20 degrees, somewhere between 22 and 19 at the maximum RPM, around 6,000 RPM. So I'll monitor knock retard and the actual delivered timing and set those values to provide optimum performance.
Great. Something I could never do in a million years.
Oh.
Steve, what are you hooking up now?
The lambda sensor.
The what sensor?
The lambda sensor that we get the air-fuel ratio from.
Oh, okay.
You can see the sensor. Or the guy that owns GoPro, if you've ever seen it. There's a GT40 card with GoPro on the side.
Well, GoPro is Northern California, so he brought it down here?
I didn't meet him. I just dealt with the car.
A lot of room for you in there, isn't there?
It's great. I'm glad you're a big guy. reduction of 25% on top of 10% short term. So that's almost a 30% addition of fuel.
That's our problem running Ridge on one.
That's it right there.
Great. One of the first things that we discovered was the right bank was running about 40% richer than the left bank. And that is a clear indication. So if we take a look at the end of the exhaust pipe, this is relatively clear. But if we look on the right side, you can see the tremendous amount of carbon buildup, indicating too rich of a mixture. So this is one of the things that Steve has corrected for using the HP Tuner program. Yes, Steve.
Well, there's a major dilution of the exhaust on the passenger side. So under light throttle conditions, I'm not getting a correct airfill reading. And the factory O2 sensor, the factory narrowband sensor, isn't even showing a volt. It's zero output at idle and part throttle. So there's something going on there. There could be that there's a major leak. Something is
could it be a bad sensor?
Could be a bad sensor, but I'm also seeing dilution on my sensor too. So now the driver's side bank is reading more normally, but it still looks like it's having some dilution issue. So somehow air is getting into the exhaust stream before the sensor. The other thing is that the air intake charge temperature quickly shoots over 100 degrees, and I was seeing temperatures of 110 to 113 degrees, and that's going to causes a catastrophic change in ignition timing. You can see here that at 113 degrees, and our load values were about 0.68, that it's pulling 12 degrees of timing away. The engine only runs about 24 or 25 degrees of timing, so it's pulling almost half of that away. So it basically takes all the power away. So this is something we're going to have to rectify the air inlet so that we can get that charge temperature closer to ambient.